Are you a struggling Filipino living in Manila who just wants to take a short, relaxing swimming break from work or school but cannot afford to go to a resort? Well, don't you worry, because for the next few weeks or even months, there are still 7 to 11 more fucking typhoons coming our way, devastating the lives of millions of Filipinos. But hey, at least you have a new, open, and free swimming pools of your choice. We have the classics, the Taft Beach, the España River, featuring the USD Infinity Pool, the Araneta Sea, with jet skis available for rental, as well as new additions, the Buendia Creek, and the Magallanes Bay. And even though there is a detention basin, that won't stop the fun from splashing in. Expect a fun, wet, cold time. Trash, the suffering and distress of thousands of Filipinos, and leptospirosis. People say January is the worst month because it's the end of the holidays. Others say February because it's boring. Some would say April or May because it's too hot. My opinion? It's the three fucking devils. July, August, September. If you have a birthday in any of these months, I'm so sorry because you will be celebrating it underwater. It's all rain, rain, rain. It's all nothing but rain. There's nothing good that happens in these times. You have a job? Fuck you. You're a student? Uh-oh, it's time to go back to school. Wait, you go to school in the morning? Fuck you. Now, it's not all bad. The rain is good. Otherwise, we'd be the Sahara fucking desert if it weren't for the rain. And the dams would probably dry up if it weren't for the rain. You can make a lot of valid points that make the rain good, and I get those. But no amount of money can make me not hate the rain. In general, the rain just feels paralyzing. You're confined in a tiny area of your umbrella, and you'd still get wet no matter what you do. Droplets or assholes driving at Mach speed. At this point, I blame the rain more for flooding than the government. Because it's guaranteed that the government won't do shit about flooding. So just blame the rain for happening in the first place. But yeah, if you're gonna blame anything, blame the government. Not fully blame, but yeah, it's also the fault of people littering and clogging up drainage. But public trash bins are only available in select spaces, and trash management in several cities ranges from sit to even sitter. Flooding is also generally a result of urbanism, and it just so happens that Manila is a basin for rainwater, and with Manila sinking while sea levels rise, it will be underwater by 2050. Which, by the way, we're closer to this projected formation of Atlantis Manila than to the year 2000. So I don't think we have much time until millions of current and future Filipinos lose their homes and livelihoods. I've only experienced a handful of encounters with floods, but the floods recently are insane. It's gotten so high that you can literally jet ski on the road. I guess that's a trait of Philippine roads. Part land transportation, part maritime. I won't be surprised if the Pasig ferry service is extended into flooded roads. There has been good news. A flood control project in Marikina prevented mass flooding in the city, only for the river itself to literally go above it. So, what can we do? Not much, really. The government has been building a single building for almost a decade, also making fake beaches. Okay, I know I sound pessimistic right now. Of course, I'm not going to blindside the efforts of the government have made to prevent flooding and punish those who use those projects to steal billions of pesos. But it's clearly not enough. How can we control flooding by flowing into rivers if the rivers themselves flood? How can we build more and more detention basins to store floodwater if the pipes are clogged with trash? Like, there has to be more that can be done. Because if the answer to the question of the extent to which we should take flood control is uncertain, then a more pessimistic but concrete answer arises. Is Manila doomed? The Philippines has a generational run of band-aid solutions over a stab wound, and the floods are only one of the examples. I was out on Jollibee Ligarda yesterday, and there was just a tiny flood out on the sidewalk that turns into a corner directly into Ligarda station. And then I turned the corner and all of a sudden one of them starts screaming bloody murder at me to turn around and watch out. Surprise! Entire nation's worth of cockroaches is hanging out the wall! And that was the lucky experience. One of my org mates got stranded on the way home for roughly 6 hours. Apparently, the cockroaches reached España too. and the aforementioned senior was stranded there for 3 hours. I live in Lower Antipolo and I was stranded near Hillside Mall for 2 hours just because to reach home I have to enter 2 roads. But both these roads had a government project years ago raising the said roads, but they were flooded regardless. I'm not sure what they thought when they did the government project raising the roads, but they should really have better ideas for drainage and waterways. They need to have a better drainage system because this is me going to school. There are exactly 2 catch basin grates that were useless because there were leaves and sticks blocking them. Dozens of students were stranded in school. Many were calling their parents, almost crying. We don't deserve this. Getting to work during the flood was miserable, especially during floods. Everyone gets stranded, looking for a ride, hoping to get from point A to point B. I don't want to accept this as the new normal. This can't go on longer if this has been what we've been going through for decades. Other countries have already had robust infrastructure. We don't. And I don't think it will change anytime soon. I think I don't have much to say that others haven't already given. But this is the one issue where the government has to step up. Because it seems ironic that we're now paying the price for the failure to keep up with modern safety standards. Honestly, there's a limit to the amount of volunteering we can do before it either dries up or until it feels less like giving to the community and more like fixing the failures of the government in supporting those less fortunate. We shouldn't rely on this. It's a low bar. These are messages from the members of my Discord server, students, workers, or commuters. The same problems, the same concerns, the same result. It's not enough. I think the government and DPWH should shift away from short-term planning in designing and engineering flood control systems and begin thinking long-term, even by just looking at some of the places in our country like Iloilo City. Using nature-based solutions like planting mangroves is already a huge step up in flood prevention. Pasik's flood management plans back in November 2005 are very effective in the city and can be used in other places. It's simple, pumping stations. Other than that, it unifies the city's flood control and drainage system. The simple answer, just use the money correctly and make it useful to the masses. There's barely any proper waste management here in Metro Manila. That's why drainage ended up clogging up. We need proper waste management because this is one of the basic steps to improve our drainage. Manila still relies on a very old sewage system. Historically, there have been many old solutions which would have worked in the long term. Even Jose Rizal discussed spillways. The other issue here is the urban planning in Metro Manila, as Manila had few waterways that were forgotten and covered up. Replace dense road surfaces with permeable surfaces so that when floods or heavy storms occur, the rainwater will just seep through the pavement and naturally go into the ground. Or just get rid of the corrupt. Gather all the people involved in flood control projects that are supposed to prevent this, line them up against the wall, and please redact my name because I do not think the political clan in my city will like what I say. I am a Mandaluyong resident. I lived in the city for my entire life. I have heard and even experienced flooding in my entire life due to relatively poor drainage systems in place for years on end. You can see how poorly the Abalos clan manages the drainage system. Not only are the sewer systems aged, but they're also dilapidated and so poorly maintained it feels pathetic. As long as the Abalos clan is in power, I don't think there's gonna be a comprehensive solution to this flooding. There's little to nothing that most Filipinos can do directly to help others, other than volunteering to help. But ordinary Filipinos with just a few minutes to hours of research have already given so many possible solutions and fixes that can help so many people. The government has billions in funding and thousands of manpower. There is no excuse that they cannot provide any substantial change. The only thing getting in the way of change is those in power. So many officials have failed us time and time again. We need a revolution of a new system that dumps short-term solutions and fixes and focuses more on the betterment of the future. Those who care less about themselves and more about serving others. Those who care. I'm tired of a government being a money printer for officials. We need service, adequate service. Otherwise, everything that we know and love will sink.